everyone, welcome to the Knitting Den. Thanks for joining me this morning. It's a gorgeous sunny morning here in Colorado and it's perfect for sitting out on the porch again, and I'm so glad you're here with me. It's breezy, so I'm still sitting at this side of the porch. Hopefully it's just a gentle breeze and it's nice to hear and it's not, big loud gushes of wind. My name's Denise. I'm also known as Knitting Den on Ravelry and Instagram. Today, let me just check. I tried to start this earlier and then my sister FaceTimed me. It's Wednesday, June the 24th, and this is episode number 118. And the reason it's the reason it is Wednesday is because I didn't record yesterday because Kiki had a sleepover. Let me just sit up a bit. Kiki had a sleepover on Monday night with a few friends. She had 5 of them here, I think. And they were all here still yesterday morning. So I didn't bother recording my usual day, which is Tuesday. So here we are, and let me welcome you all back. I've just been looking forward to sitting down here again with you all this week. And I want to welcome new viewers if you're watching for the first time. And welcome to anyone that has recently joined the Ravelry group. No introduction, so I just say hi to everyone, no one in particular. Bindy's not here with me. I've just dropped off Bindy and Boot at the groomers, so I'm hoping to pick them up in a few hours. It's about 10:30. I already started this video twice, but my sister FaceTimed me, so I had to take a quick break and I'm back again. I've got notes, so I'm just going to look down at my knee. Couple of things before we get started. It's July 1st next Tuesday, can't believe it. So end of June is coming, and I just want to remind you that I still have the finished object thread in the Ravelry group, a monthly thread for you to put any finished objects in, and gives you a chance to win a Kikaboo bag. I'll be drawing for that next Tuesday, so don't forget, if you just got something about to come off the needles, take a picture and get it listed in there. And let's see, I think some of you were having issues last week still trying to view the podcast. The error, I think, was me again. I didn't shrink the file originally, so it was quite large. That might have been a problem. That might have been why it wasn't downloading. I did re-shrink it and put it back on YouTube, but I think the large file stayed on iTunes. I will try again this week to just make sure that everything is right. I'll compress it for both iTunes and YouTube. And for some reason it was still loading twice on YouTube, making it a long episode. So I'll double check that before I, tell you that it's posted. I don't know why it's doing it. I don't know if it's me pushing the button twice. I thought I'd only hit the publish button once. But I'll just check before I announce that it's up on YouTube. Before we jump into finished objects, I thought I would show you what I'm wearing today. You can't actually see it right now. Flies, little fly. So I'm going to stand up and model another little top that I made. I don't wear this very often, but I thought I'd put it on just so I can show you, one of my finished objects from last year. Some of you might remember. I'm going to stand up in a minute, but I'll tell you that it's called Solito. That's how I pronounce it. I was gifted the pattern last year by Robin, so thanks, Robin. I do like it. It's just, you've got to wait for the right kind of weather. Excuse me. I've knit it with Lion Brand's Cotton Ease, so I think it's a bit thick, but the pattern does call for worsted yarn. I'm going to probably stand up and I'll try and swing the camera around. Let me put my coffee down as well. Hopefully you can hear me back here because I'm standing back so you get a full view. I'll come up close so that you can see the pretty cable pattern. It's a really nice design. I have actually sewn this closed because it was like pulling apart here. So once the buttons were in place, I still sewed it down as well. And the back has the cables as well. So I really like it. It was a good fit. The armholes are nice, but I have to keep adjusting the bra strap. So yeah, I really like it. I like these small tops, sleeveless. Okay, let's jump into finished objects. I think I've got nothing else to chat about before we do that. Alright, finished objects. I don't really have any. I've got a nearly finished object. And I had a laugh. I was watching Sarah and Matt yesterday, Apple Blossom and You podcast, and I had a laugh because Sarah was talking about finished objects and Matt was saying he had one and Sarah wouldn't let him show it because I think what he had was a finished sleeve for his sweater. And I just thought that was so sweet. He was like, I have a finished object. I have one. And she's like, no, you don't. That's not finished. So mine isn't finished either, but it's just about, so we'll start off kind of works in progress, nearly finished objects. I did not have this, excuse me, I did not have this on the needles last week, but I'm just amazed at how quick a knit this is, and I started another Mrs. Bakery Bear. This one's for me, and she's just about finished. I've put her dress on. I'm doing it in, I was going to try do it in Christmassy kind of colours. So this is a burgundy and cream colour. It's kind of all I had in stash that I could use. So she's nearly finished, and the reason why is all she needs is one more shoe, look. One more shoe and some little buttons. I have to tie that in. This dress I've used worsted weight yarn because I found that the dress I did in my first bear, for my first bear, I used the DK yarn, but I think it was a little bit too big. Small. This is not finished. I do want to put a ribbon running through it like Kay does on hers. I'm thinking I might try some green so that I do bring in the Christmassy colours. So she's just about finished. As I said, this is a super fast pattern. I can't believe, you wouldn't think it was, but to be able to knock one out in less than a week, it's fabulous. And for those who don't know, because I'm sure many of you do know, this is Mrs. Bakery Bear. The pattern is on Ravelry, and it's by Kay Jones, who is Bryony Bear. And she's one of the co-hosts of the new podcast, the Bakery Bears podcast, with her husband Dan. And I have to say, Dan's name on Ravelry was Obi-Wan Knitter, but as of this week, or last week, because it's Wednesday now, as of last Thursday when they did their, or Friday when they did their podcast, excuse me, I think I need to get a drink. Dan is now known as Obi-Wan Knitter. I've got a tiny little fly around my face. Obi-Wan Knitter, which I absolutely love. So that's, he said he's got a new name, it's just the way you pronounce it. So Kay and Dan, hosts of the Bakery Bear podcast, she does the pattern, and I know that she's just released a pattern for, and her hand is in my face, Mr. Bakery Bear. Now I'm not one to knit the same pattern over and over again. This is my second bear, but I may well be tempted to get Mr. Bakery Bear pattern because it's just a fabulous knit, and as I said, super fast. I'm going to give you a little close-up look. The only thing I don't like is I cannot get this seam to close up when I've done, these are my decreases, and for some reason I'm quite loose. I've tried to pull as tight as I can, but by the time I stuff it, you can just see through. But never mind, she's still pretty, I love her. One more shoe, which I'll probably do today, and then finish off some, ribbon or some green thread yarn around here, and a little bow in our head. So that is a work in progress. Alright, let me grab my bag. Another work in progress. The Luresca. Let's call it the continuing saga of Luresca. Let me grab my bag. Sorry, it's over here. And let me see, what shall I show you? Oh, where's the... I don't think I have the yarn in here. Let me get the pattern out then, just to remind everyone. I tried to start a pattern which I bought, and I bought some yarn from my local yarn store. This is the pattern. I've been mentioning it for the past couple of weeks. I've been trying to get gauge. I frogged it after a couple of inches or an inch. Checked gauge again. I don't have the yarn in here, which will indicate I don't have the actual work in progress either. These were my swatches, and I'm using a cotton with a 10% cashmere in it from Lotus Yarns. It was called Autumn Wind. I've got two swatches, very similar. I started knitting a smaller size. It looked like it was going to be, well, I wasn't sure actually if it was going to be too small or too large. I can't remember. But I got a lovely message this week from Viv, who pointed out kindly that I'm using the totally wrong yarn. This calls for, let me see, I think it's a sport weight yarn, I forgot now. It calls for Rowan Panama, and it's a viscose cotton linen blend. And I've been using the Lotus yarns, and it's apparently worsted weight yarn, and I think I only need a sport. What I'm amazed at, or what I'm surprised at, is I could have sworn that I was chatting with my local yarn store lady, told her to bring up Laresca on Ravelry for me and check out what kind of yarn I need. So then I went off and looked in her store for some cotton, found that, and I could have sworn that she agreed with me and said, oh yeah, that will work. Perhaps I was wrong. I'm not sure, but I know she knew I was going to knit this and I had picked that yarn for it. I've pulled it out, thanks to Viv. I just need to double check these kind of things in future. I've pulled it out, but I've not been able to do anything since. I've been working on Mrs. Bakery Bear. I'm going to have to find some yarn for the Laresca. I did try to get the Rowan Panama from someone's stash last week, and when I contacted them they had just mailed it off to somebody else. So I'll keep an eye out. I think I do like the top, and I think I'm going to definitely try to get the correct yarn and then swatch and make sure that my gauge is right and give it another go. In a few weeks' time, I think. I mean, it's summertime. I do like these tops sleeveless, so we'll try. In saying that, so yeah, I don't have anything to show you for that. I'll put that away. I did not work on my Avalon, and for anyone new, well, I won't bore you all with showing you it again, but that's just another work in progress I'm trying to do. It's a stole, kind of rectangular shawl. I might pick that up this week and I'll have something to show next week. I've only knit on the bear, and I've knit on one other thing, and that's another work in progress, and it's new this week. I've cast on. Before I show you it, I'm going to jump ahead and go into show and tell. Hold on. I haven't got things strategically placed here. This week I got in the mail Botanical Knits 2. It's felt like it was ages ago that I pre-ordered this. I think it was back in March. I have had the e-book. When you pre-ordered, you did get the e-book. So I have been able to look at it, and I could have knit anything from it. I choose not to study it that well because I like the hard copy. So I kind of, at the time, I flicked through it and looked at all the nice pages, but I haven't looked at it since. This came in the mail, I think it was the end of last week, and I was super excited. So I thought I'd show you a little bit of it. Not necessarily a review, but, you know, just show you some of the pictures. This is what came with it as well. This fabulous pattern, which is the Sprig cloche. Now, some of you might know the Sprig sweater was released earlier, I think, for you to purchase. But again, because I had got the e-book, I was able to, I could have knit that if I wanted to, but I didn't. But I think that's fabulous. And I just love her patterns, the paper that she uses. and this is like in her book as well, the patterns and the pages are just really pretty. Came with Alana's card, nevernotknitting.com if you don't know, and it came with this really cute bookmark with a there you go, with this really awesome little 1-inch gauge, which is fabulous to just you know, if you have it trying to get a quick idea if you're on target with your gauge. I know it's important to try and do you know, a full swatch, which I am going to do in future, but I just thought that was really nice to look at as well if you need it. You put that down. So the book, I'll show you the table of contents. This is what's in the book. If you haven't seen it yet, there is, I think it's 12 patterns. This hooded sweater I loved, but I'm going to be starting a new hooded sweater next week. I'll tell you about that in a second. It's got a really gorgeous scarf, it might be blurry, made up of leaves, cardigans, shawls, lacy shawl, a few hats, mittens, and I think that's it. Hats, mittens, 1, 2, 3 sweater, 2 cardigans, the sweater, the sprig, and that large hooded one. And let's see, here's the sprig. I know Jenna from Retro Lemon knit this, and it was fabulous. It looked exactly like this. Her colour was very similar. I'm not sure if it was the exact yarn. Can't remember if she said it was, but it looked fabulous and it was a gorgeous fit. I'm half tempted to knit it because hers looked so nice. And let's see, what else? I'll show you another picture without taking too long. The one thing about being outside is I get an itchy nose. Oh, sorry. Here's that sweater. I love it. I might get that on the needles at some point. And the back, it's got this really nice tree on it. So the reason I jumped ahead to show and tell was I decided to cast on something out of this book. I have the Botanical Knits book 1, and I've not knit a thing out of it yet. Oh, I think I knit the hat, one of the hats, and again that was because the pattern, I think it was released before the book, I'm not sure. Oh, I had the e-book again, so I picked that because I had some yarn in stash. I don't have the beret that I knit then, a leafy beret, because I give it to a friend. This is what I've cast on this week because I had some yarn in stash. Forest foliage. Look at those leaves. This is I'm not sure if it's a triangular or semicircle actually, to be honest, but this is the shawl. It's a lacy shawl, and it's got a gorgeous leaf pattern in it. Let's see if there's any other pictures. Just small ones really. Here's another page with it on. So I started this a couple of days ago, I think. Now, it's a shawl, so I did not swatch. I don't swatch for shawls, baby items, and my socks. I just don't swatch still, sorry. Hold on a minute. I decided to stop the camera there. I forgot. But just in case I was off sync, hopefully if I was there, no I'm not. So, in my super duper little Spock, rock, paper, scissors, Spock lizard bag, which I love, which I made, I have put my shawl, Forest Foliage. I had this in stash in its Malabrigo sock, and that was one of the alternative yarns that Alana said you can use. I've got 3 of these, 3 skeins, because I bought it for, was some sweater type thing that I tried to cast on and then I didn't do. I can't remember the name, but I did mention it on here quite a few months ago. This colourway, like autumnal browns, which I absolutely love, very rusty coloured oranges, is called Arbol, I think. That's what I want to say. I've knit the first chart here, and I've just finished the second chart. I want to say it's easy, but it's quick. You get through one chart pretty quick. I won't say it's easy, and I'll tell you why in a second. But here's some of the process. Look, you can see the leaf. If I try and stretch that part out as well. Hold on. And there's another one. Can you see it? It's gorgeous. I love how the pattern is coming together pretty fast with the first leaves. Oh, I can't see there. And now I'm onto the second leaf here. And as I start the next chart, I'll finish the top of this leaf, and then we'll be starting, I think, a new leaf up here. I won't say it's an easy knit, at least it wasn't for me. I'm getting the hang of it now, but it's okay to just say you repeat whatever's in the little coloured box, you know, when you're reading from charts. That's fine, I can follow that pretty easy. Alana went on to describe what happens and how the pattern comes together. Was I showing you the right way yet? I was. Because the more yarn overs and increases you do, the more of these little, the more of this lace pattern you get between leaves. I think I sat nearly 2 hours trying to figure out what to do. It seems simple now. Obviously the lattice or lacy part increases, so you have to increase them. But because it wasn't shown on the chart, it didn't tell me to repeat that. I got stuck a bit for a couple of hours. I checked on Ravelry, there was no errata. I checked people's projects, they didn't mention anything. So I guess they just figured it out a lot faster than me. I think I'm doing it right. I'm just doing more, yarn over knit twos or yarn over SSKs to get the right amount in between the leaves. I feel like I'm just winging it, but it seems to be coming together okay, and I love it, absolutely love it. I might be working on this quite a lot this week, because I can't think of anything else I've got on. I will mention the year-long, I'm just getting comfy, the year-long knit-along. I need to do, for June, we have to do ornaments, and I haven't cast on anything yet, and the reason being is I just can't decide what to do. So that's one thing I have to do, but the rest of the time, as I've mentioned before, this year's just knit for me and my spoilie, so I can cast on something like this any time I want. Now, with that said, next week I will be casting on, and I didn't bring the magazine, I'm going to be casting on a large project. It's called, that says Forest as well, is it Forest Elf? It was in the Simply Knitting magazine I showed a few weeks ago. I will show it next week because I'm going to be swatching this week for it, and fingers crossed I get the right gauge and hopefully get the right fit. I'm going to knit this with a friend. She's going to be joining in with me. It's hard, you might not have the pattern because it's Simply Knitting magazine, and I don't think it's available to buy on Ravelry just yet. But if you do have the pattern, feel free, if you're going to knit it and you're knitting it now, feel free, let me know, and you can just join us. I think it's just going to be a lot of motivation that I know someone else is knitting it. And I might set myself some goals where I need to get so much knit in a week so that I don't fall behind and it take months and months. I'll talk about that more next week as well. That's, 1st of July. I think that is all the works in progress I have. So let's move on. So that we jumped into show and tell, and we went back to the works in progress because I showed you what I cast on. What we got coming up next? I'll turn the page. Book talk, just a quick chat, and I'm going to lean forward again, I'm sorry. I've got everything on the coffee table in front of me. I'm reading The Secret History. I mention this every week, but that's what I'm reading. But look, I'm nearly finished. It did start, it was a very slow start, and I mentioned last week that it got interesting. I was enjoying it. And the meeting, it's a monthly meeting in my neighbourhood. The meeting is next Wednesday, but I should think I'll get this finished for sure. So it has been a really good read. I've enjoyed it, and it was surprising because I wasn't enjoying it in the beginning. So once I'm finished this, I might, if anyone's interested, I might not put a thread up this month. I might just say, if you're interested, you can PM me. But I'm going to wait till after the meeting next week to say that. So don't be PMing me this week for it. But cause there wasn't many left an entry last month, so I figured, you know, maybe I'll just do first come, first serve this month. We'll see. With that, the other book talk to talk about is the read-along. This is happening next Tuesday as well, 1st of July. July is going to be such a busy and exciting and fun month, I think. We're starting our very first Knitting Den read-along. Come into the den, pick up your book, or listen on the, you know, if you're doing the Audible. We've chosen Death by Cashmere by Sally Goldenbaum. I didn't bring it out with me, but there's quite a few of you have left messages in the thread saying you've got your book, or you're going to join in, or you're going to be listening while you're knitting. And I'm super excited, I really am. I've never done a read-along on here before. If you go into the thread, you will see, I think I might have done it at the very first message. I broke it down into how many chapters per week. And then the following week, I'll chat about it or perhaps ask questions, just based on those chapters we've read. And you can go into that thread and give me your thoughts on what you're thinking of the book so far. Or if I do have any questions to ask, you could perhaps, you know, give your opinion or answer those questions as well. So get ready for that next Tuesday. I can't wait. That is everything with the read-alongs, or the book talk. And we'll jump straight into knit-along news. Next Tuesday, I told you it was going to be a busy month. Next Tuesday, July 1st, we're also starting a knit-along. And this is the first knit-along that I've had in the on the episode or on the podcast this year. And it's our annual, this is our second annual Christmas in July knit-along, or our Christmas knit-along. This is to start, if you've got any gifts in mind that you want knitting for Christmas, start one now. Start one in July. Knit along with us, and of course at the end, you know, at the end of July, I'm going to pull 3 prizes. I'm going to do a bag, Kiki-Boo bag, set of stitch markers, and perhaps a little pack with note cards and stuff that I, you know, have been putting in, or I will be putting in the Etsy store soon. So, the rules are: knit anything that you're going to give as a Christmas gift, or knit anything with a Christmas theme. And I mentioned that if it's something like ornaments or dishcloths, I'm just going to allow 2 entries per person. Whether it's 2 large entries or just, you know, it's dishcloths, just put 2 entries in, and that makes it fair to those that might be picking a larger project, a sweater or socks and stuff like that. So that's that news with the knit along. If you've got any questions, PM me, or, you know, leave them in the group. You can leave them in the group for this week's thread until I get, till I remember to put a thread in there for the knit along chatter. I will get that up perhaps in the next few days. Okay, with that said, it's time for girly chatter. I keep looking at myself in the camera and I feel like I look red again. The hot flashes have returned and I'm hot right now. I mentioned this a few weeks or months ago, and I did start taking some over-the-counter Estroven or something like that it was, and it seemed as if it helped because they really eased off and I wasn't getting them very often. I didn't renew. I forgot to pick up some of the you know, pills over-the-counter box for quite some weeks, and I've noticed that they've come back, and it doesn't help that the weather has started to heat up, and some of our days were in 80 degrees, but I'm hot. I did get some more Estroven. I've started taking it and we'll see if it works. But if you think I'm looking a bit flushed now and then, I think the last time I said it you couldn't tell I'd gone red, but I feel like I look red because I feel hot and red. Anyway, girly chatter this week. Oh, I didn't bring it out with me. I'll probably insert a picture. Last weekend, we went to our first of the year yard sale. I went last year, we started trying to go to yard sales last year, and it's fun. I really like it, I love it. And last week was our first one. We went on Friday and Saturday to the same neighbourhood because it was a community yard sale. Those are the best ones because a lot of your yard sales, you know, you've got 2 or 3 in the same street and there's a few more around the corner. And, you know, you get to see a lot of them as opposed to driving a further distance between just individual ones. So we went on Friday because a lot of people do start to put their stuff out on Friday and then they'll put it back out on Saturday. And those that didn't put it out on Friday still put their stuff out on Saturday because it was the community, you know, yard sale, as I said. We didn't find much last week, but I did get a great find, and I'm going to insert a picture because I forgot to bring it out, and it was a bag. Some of you might remember that last year I found a quart purse, a little small quart purse, at a yard sale for $2. This one wasn't as much of a bargain, it still was cheap. It was $10, and it was a, looks like brand new Vera Bradley quilted bag. I'll insert a picture. Isn't that pretty? I absolutely loved it. I did look inside and it doesn't look like it's been used at all. There's no crumbs in there, there's no sign of any wear and tear. I feel like it's brand new, so I snatched it for $10. So one of the things I wanted to just mention is, and you might not know, that's why I'm going to chat about it. In England, we don't have yard sales. At least they didn't have when I was there. Dan and Keir, you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong. But we don't have yard sales as such. We don't put our, you know, goods out on the front lawn or on our driveway. What we do is, and I just don't think this is a good way to do it, but we have what you call car boot sales. Now, a boot on a car is your trunk. Yeah, you've got different words for it over here. The bonnet of the car is your hood over here, and the boot of the car is your trunk over here. So we have car boot sales, and what that means is you load up your car with all of the stuff you want to sell, you know, the things you want to get rid of. Load as much up in your car as you can, and that will include a table, you know, you need a craft table to put some stuff out on, things like that. You load up your car and you drive to one specific area that is designated for, you know, for a car boot sale. Everybody takes their car, and what you do is you park your car and you open the back of your boot and you bring out all your stuff and you lay it out on a craft table. I did a couple when I was in England. I didn't like doing them. It's such a hassle to try and, you know, take all of your stuff with you somewhere. And the stuff that you don't sell, you have to drive all the way back home with it. But it still can be fun. I did a couple with my sister when I was there, and it's more fun just to go to them and look around. The way we do it over there, it makes me feel like it's something more like a flea market. But there's not always huge items, you know, like furniture and stuff, because obviously people can't get them there in just a car. If they have a truck or a van or whatever, they might bring larger items. What I did was, I went on, I've got a picture here, if I can get it. I went onto Google and, you know, searched the car boot sales, and I was just going to show you a picture and give you an idea of what it kind of looks like. If you can see this without any glare. Of course, no, I don't want that one. Hold on. I always touch the wrong button. See if I try and show you it without touching anything. This is what one of them looks like. This looks a really big one, very busy. The ones I'd been to were kind of in a field, and there wasn't that many. I'm trying to get rid of a glare for you. That one looks really, really busy. Let me see if I... This is very blurry, but what a cute picture. Because sometimes this lady's obviously took all of her nice little, what do you want to call it, china and stuff like that. And she's set it all out. And she's got flowers on the table to make it look all pretty. But you see she's sitting on the boot, you know, sitting at the back of her car. Generally, she might have a seat, a stool, I'm not sure. But generally you can just sit on the back of your car if you want to, you know, take a load off your feet. Now let's see. Here's another one where she's just got clothes hanging up out of the back of her car. And, oh, come on, don't go off. There's a lot of similar things obviously get sold. Here's another one. And as I said, it can be fun if you get the right kind of weather. This one looks like it's full of baskets on. They've laid out baskets on the floor. See how they're all on grass? Not in like a car park or parking lot. And yeah, it can be fun. Here's another one. So that's what you have to do in England if you want to go to something like we say that we have here, which is yard sales. Let me see. Oh my gosh, this is huge. I've never been to one this big. Obviously it looks like it's well organised because they seem to have lines on where to park your car. Look at that. So it does remind me of flea markets, but more, you know, the stuff that you'll buy or you can find there are smaller items, household items. There's a craft table with all of their stuff on it. So I was just going to chat about that quickly. That's all I've got to say in there. I think I'm going to, we'll look this week and see if we can go to one. We might go looking around on Friday because Saturday we're probably going to go to the Renaissance Fair. We went last year with my sister. We're hoping to go this Saturday. The weather seems to be, it's going to, you know, be nice. So I'll have some pictures probably and I'll be able to chat about that next week. But for now, that's all I have in girly chatter. The last thing is just shop news, shop update. For those that are interested in hearing about it, an update on the Kikaboo kits, the Book Lovers kit. Obviously, I'm not getting pre-orders out just yet. Michelle, who is from Dancing Dog Dye Works, as you know, she's going to be dyeing the yarn to match the bag. I did not bring the bag out to show again, sorry. I should take a picture and add it to, you know, the Ravelry group, if I remember. But Michelle's been to, lucky girl, to the Zombie Knit, I can't say this, the Zombie Knit Apocalypse 2014 with the stockinette zombies. You probably all know about it. So Michelle's been there, so she's been busy. She's just got home this week, and I've heard from her, and she's going to be dyeing up the yarn hopefully this week and getting it sent out to me. I can't put the kits up for pre-order until I take pictures, and of course I want to show you the yarn, and I want to take pictures of the yarn ready for the shop as well, with the bag and everything else. So that's the news with that. You know, it's just not going to happen as fast as I wanted to, but that's okay. You know, we weren't set in stone with a date. I will give you all plenty of notice. I do get messages and people are panicking saying, you know, thinking they've missed the update. Because there's not going to be that many kits available. I think I've only got a maximum of 20. But I'm going to give you plenty of notice. I will announce it here when, you know, the date before it's in the shop. I'll announce the date here when you will find the pre-orders going in. I'll announce it in the Ravelry group under the thread for Kikaboo bags, and it will be announced on the shop itself, you know, the notes at the top of the shop. I will give a date, and it's probably going to be a few days' notice. Might even be a week if I can do that. I'll give a week's heads up so everybody knows, and I'll, you know, keep reminding you. That's all I can do for now. I can't take pre-orders, pre-orders or anything like that, obviously. It's not fair to others. So I am thrilled that you are looking forward to them coming out. I really do enjoy putting them together. But this is probably going to be the last one for this year. I had considered doing a Christmas one, but Christmas is very busy. It's a busy time of year, of course, and I always think funds as well is, you know, some people are not as extravagant buying stuff for themselves because it's the time of year when you buy a lot of things for others. So I might not do Christmas, but still. The one thing I do have coming up, and that is next Tuesday. Guess what next Tuesday is? July 1st. Yes. I'm doing at the shop, at the Etsy store, Christmas in July sale again. I'm not sure if I'm doing everything in the shop is on sale or if it's just the Christmas stuff. I'm just thinking about it. The reason I'm a little, the reason I don't know yet is, I was going to say, I don't know whether to just already price them with the percentage off. It's going to be 25% off, so you'll get some great bargains. Or whether I say use the coupon code. I just don't know yet, so well, I'll figure that out as and when the time comes. I thought I would show you a quick sneak preview of some of the bags I've got finished already. That will be going in there on Tuesday. They're all Christmas bags with me right now, except one. This is one of the bags that's not Christmassy, but I love this fabric. I just got it recently, and it is this adorable, cute little girl. I'm not sure what the name is. I'll look for that when I post the details. And I've got the little bead on there. This is, I'm starting to use these lobster claws now where you can take it off, if I can get it. My hands are all fingers and thumbs. Doesn't want to come off. It doesn't want to come off. I'm using the lobster claws, so you can take it off. You could attach it to your keys or just another bag if you want to. And if I hold that still, it's always matching. The colours match the bag. So that one's going to be in the shop. I'll go through the other ones pretty quick. This one has contrasting fabric from, I think it's the same design. The others, some of the Christmas ones are just with the cream coloured interior. So we have snowflakes. I'll just go through them, as I said, pretty fast. Snowflakes, put that there. We have mittens, and I'll show you them if they've got contrasting fabric, but most of them, as I said, are the cream coloured. We've got mittens. We also have mittens in a large squishy, again just cream. We have Christmas trees. I love the colours in this one. It's unusual to have like a, you know, brown, but with it being Christmas trees, it's really pretty. There's a pretty bead to match. And again, I think, oh no, see, it's a good job I opened it. This one has contrasting fabric in the brownish taupe colour. Got that. We got Santa on a very blustery night, what it looks like, hanging stockings and whooshing through the air on his reindeer. I don't want to even talk about Christmas, but I do really. I can't believe the year is going so fast. This is just cream. But we're over halfway, and this is why I do the Christmas in July stuff and the knit-alongs, because it just starts from now on, gets even faster. It's already whooshed by. I can't believe we're into the 7th month just about. Another Christmassy one, adorable little snowman on like a minty kind of green. His hats are grey and red. Sometimes it's hard to see the colours. And he has contrasting green inside. This is a small. You'll see it on the shop will say whether they're small or large. This is, or medium. This is a medium and this is a small. They look a similar size, but they're not, as you can see. This is great for socks, small sweaters and shawls. The start of a shawl would definitely still fit in there. Here's another small one. Cute little wiener dogs and pussycats. And I think he is cream inside, yes. And one of the very popular ones from last year, I think, Normies. Gnome for the holiday. I love this fabric. I do have just cream inside of here because I didn't have the contrasting one left. And finally, a medium size with air willies and Christmas gifts. I'm not sure if you can see the gold, it's on here, the gold that you see on some of the gifts in here and some of the owls, it's looking a bit blurry, is shiny. It looks like shiny gold. So we have that, and I have a small squishy in this fabric as well. That's all I have for now, but I am working on getting more more sewn, and I'll add them throughout the month, hopefully, so that everything for that month, every time I add something to the shop, it will still be on sale. And as I said, that's just my way of saying thank you for your support, not only in the podcast, but in the Etsy store as well. I'm also thinking about, after that sale has finished, I may well do some kind of discount for my podcast viewers. So perhaps if I give out a special code on the podcast, once in a while, you will have had to have watched the podcast probably in order to get like another discount. I'm just thinking about that for the coming months. I'm not sure how long this has been, but it's been fabulous to sit down here and chat with you again. I think I still have a couple of hours before I have to go pick up the doggies. It's going to take a little while longer because they've both gone in to the groomers at the same time. Usually I do one at a time. But I think for the rest of the day, before I go pick them up, I will get down in my craft room and do some organising, get some note cards made, and get more bags sewn. So I hope you all have a fabulous week, and thank you for coming back and joining me here again. And I hope you come back next week and join me again in the Knitting Den. Bye guys.